welcome back to my Halloween horror story series. Now, before I jump in, I want to say thank you so much for joining in today. And if you missed last week's real-life horror case, be sure to go watch that one. It's about the real-life Texas Chainsaw Massacre. If you would like to hear more of my stories, be sure to like this video, comment, and or subscribe. I would seriously appreciate it, you guys. And also make sure you watch till the end because I have one last question for you. So this week's real-life horror covers the story of Annabelle. Annabelle is one of a series of movies about the paranormal investigators and authors Ed and Lorraine Warren. There are many other movies that have to do with Ed and Lorraine Warren. These include The Conjuring 2, A Haunting in Connecticut, Annabelle Comes Home, The Nun, and Amityville Horror. In 1970s, a mother purchased an antique Raggedy Ann doll from the hobby store. The doll had been bought as a birthday present for her daughter, Donna. Donna was a 28-year-old nursing student who lived in a tiny apartment with a roommate named Angie. Donna thought the doll was cute and placed it on her bed as decoration and didn't give it a second thought. Within just a few short days, Donna and Angie noticed that there appeared to be something very strange and creepy about the doll. The doll mysteriously seemed to move about the house. They were just small movements at first, like changing in position, but soon, as time went on, she would move to a completely different room. At times, when they found her, she would have her legs crossed, her arms folded, or would even be found upright, standing on its feet. At times, when Donna would leave to go to work, she would leave the doll on the couch, and she would return home. Annabelle would be sitting on her bed with the door closed. Donna and Angie had a close friend named Lou. Lou had very odd feelings about Annabelle, and he kept telling Donna to get rid of her. However, Donna did not listen, and eventually, Donna and Angie began finding messages on parchment paper that read, "Help us," and "Help Lou." The handwriting seemed to be written by a small child, and Donna recalls she had never kept parchment paper in her apartment. So where did it come from? One night, when Donna came home, she found the doll in her room on her bed, again. This time, Donna knew something was wrong. She had a bad feeling. After investigating the doll, she realized there was what looked like blood drops on the back of its hands and its chest, which came from nowhere. Donna then turned to a medium who held a seance. During this time, Angie and Donna were introduced to the spirit of Annabelle Higgins. Annabelle Higgins was a young girl about 7 years old who had lived on the property before. Before the apartments were there was a field in which they found her lifeless body. The apartments were then built upon this field. The spirit went on and told the medium that she was comfortable with Donna and Angie, and she wanted to stay with them and to be loved. Once Donna found this out, she felt compassion and she gave permission to the spirit to stay in the doll. They would soon realize that Annabelle was not who they thought she was. Lou stayed one night at Donna and Angie's apartment. He awoke from a deep sleep and in panic. He had a reoccurring bad dream, but he knew something was odd. As he looked around the room, he knew there was nothing different. However, when he looked down at his feet, he saw Annabelle. She began to glide up his leg and move to his chest, and stopped out of nowhere. The doll began to strangle him. Lou was paralyzed and gasping for breath. He then passed out. When he woke up the next morning, he knew it was not a dream, and he quickly wanted to get out of the apartment and away from the doll. This wasn't the only incident Lou had with Annabelle. The next morning, Lou and Angie were preparing for a road trip while Donna was away. As they sat quietly in the living room, they heard a lot of noise coming from Donna's room, which seemed like someone had broken into the apartment. Lou went to investigate, and when he opened the door and turned on the light, there was nothing there. He found Annabelle lying in the corner of the room, and as he approached her, he felt like someone was behind him. He quickly turned around and nobody was there. Within a split second, he fell to the ground in pain, grabbing his chest. He had been cut and was bleeding. It looked as though there was 7 distinct claw marks on his chest, 3 vertical and 4 horizontal. Within just 2 days, the scratches healed. After these events, Donna knew something was wrong, and she needed to seek someone's help who knew what they were dealing with. She came in contact with the Warrens through a priest. Soon after, the Warrens contacted Donna. They got the story of who Annabelle was and what was really going on. They realized the doll itself was not in fact possessed, but manipulated by an inhumane presence. Spirits cannot possess inanimate objects like houses or toys. They can, however, possess people. The spirit manipulated the doll to create an illusion of it being alive in order to get recognition. The spirit was not looking to stay attached to the doll. It was looking to possess a human host. They found that this demonic spirit was in the infestation stage. The spirit began by teleporting or moving around the doll to make the girls notice it, and in doing so, this is when they brought the medium so they can now communicate with it. The demonic spirit pretended to be a 7-year-old little girl to get permission from Donna to stay in the apartment. And within time, things sped up quickly by leaving handwritten notes and symbolic drops of blood on the doll. It even left behind the symbolic mark of the beast on Lou. The Warrens included a priest by the name of Father Cook. He went to the apartment to cleanse it, and after doing so, the Warrens took the Big Raggedy Ann doll with them as they left. And this was to rid the apartment of the evil spirit and to take further action by taking the doll away from the home. As the Warrens drove home, they had the doll in the back seat. They did not want to take the interstate just in case this inhumane spirit still resided within the doll. As they were driving home, they felt this hatred, and the car began to swerve and stall at every corner. The power steering and brakes failed, causing the car to almost crash. Ed pulled out a vial of holy water and doused the doll, making the sign of a cross over it. And from then on, the disturbances stopped and the Warrens got home safely. Once home, they put the Raggedy Ann doll in the chair next to his desk, and he was constantly moving on its own, from room to room. And at one point, a Catholic exorcist named Father Jason Bradford visited the Warrens, and he found Annabelle sitting in a chair. He picked her up and said, "You're just a rag doll, Annabelle. You can't hurt anyone," and tossed the doll back in the chair. Ed had told Jason Bradford that that was a bad idea, and you better not have said that. When Father Jason was about to leave, Lorraine told him, "Be careful and let me know when you get home." Father Jason called Lorraine and told her he had been in an almost fatal accident and his car was totaled. When he was driving, his car went into an intersection and his brakes went out. And this was just one of the many incidents that occurred over the next few years. The Warrens finally had a special case made for Annabelle, where she no longer was able to move around. She was placed in the occult museum, where she is now staying. It is said that she is responsible for killing a man who, with his girlfriend, visited Annabelle in the museum and was taunting the doll by tapping on the glass and saying, "If the doll can put scratches on people, why not do it to him?" Ed Warren told the man he needed to leave. The man and his girlfriend left and began riding their motorcycle home. While doing so, they were laughing and making fun of the doll, and within a split second, the man crashed head-on into a tree, killing him instantly, while his girlfriend was hospitalized for over a year. Her account was they were laughing and the motorcycle lost control and they crashed. Ed warned people, "You do not challenge evil, that no man is more powerful than Satan." I think it would be cool to go to the museum, but if I actually had the chance, I don't know if I would actually go inside. I definitely believe in ghosts, and I personally have never had an experience, but I am a believer for sure. Just the thought of being so close to a demonic spirit that can still harm people scares me. Thank you so much for watching this week's real-life horror story on Annabelle. Be sure to like and subscribe. Now before I go, I have one last question for you. What would you do if you had the chance to go into this museum? Would you do it?